And joining us is Jesse McCurry, who is Executive Director of Kansas Sorghum. And Jesse, we also want to kind of get an update. I think last time you were on, you were just appointed to a special EPA committee on farm branches and rural communities, and as a representative not only for Kansas but also for the sorghum industry. So give us an update on what's going on there.
Yeah, thanks. That's an interesting committee. It's got a great group of people on it. This is a federal advisory committee that many federal agencies have. This particular one was resurrected and restarted. Farm Ranch Rural Communities Advisory Committee has a lot of folks from across the country involved in livestock and grains and other groups, stakeholders involved in these questions. And I think our first question was, well, what is our charge? What do they want us to do? And I can tell you now what they want us to do. And the first one is to provide some recommendations creating a holistic pesticide program for the future. EPA seems to, and I believe, recognizes innovation and the need for tools for farmers. But at the same time, there's some questions about how can they build more trust and help consumers understand and allay their fears on new innovations based on some of the information. The second one is water quality and water quantity, and that seems perfect in terms of the role of that agency, but also the things that all the states and stakeholders touch. And so we're going to look at how we can advise some recommendations there. The third one is interesting. It's about food loss and waste. And so, to be honest, most of the committee is probably a little bit more experienced or keen on the pesticide part of it and on the water part of it. But also given the amount of food, frankly, that we tend to leave out there, how can we advise them on those questions? We did talk to the administrator. He Zoomed in. We got to ask him direct questions. And he seems to take these charges seriously because they're embedded in his own charge to the agency.
Well, Jesse, while you're talking at the EPA, let's do a little sidestep. And as you and I are talking right now, we're continuing to learn more of the recent announcement by EPA that those small refinery exemptions were not going to be approved, which is good news for sorghum and corn-based ethanol, which is another big shot in the arm for Kansas.
Yes, sir. The other Kansan that's on the committee is Bill Proct from East Kansas Agri-Energy, and we were both chomping at the bit to directly ask the administrator on that question. And luckily, you're right, and it seems to be a serious move, and finally in concrete, the fact that they're going to not go along with some of these previous waivers for gap years. And also, the president mentioned the ability to move more E15 through current existing E10 infrastructure, which is a no-brainer. So it's been a very positive week in terms of ethanol.
Well, Jesse, if folks want to learn more about what goes on with the Kansas Sorghum, not only the Producer Association, but also the checkoff, how can they do that?
Come see us at www.ksgrainsorghum.org. We certainly have a lot of information there, and also a need for candidates for the western tier of Kansas, which is the heart of the sorghum country and the world, frankly. So www.ksgrainsorghum.org.
Jesse, we appreciate the update, the time to talk with us. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Jesse McCurry, Executive Director of Kansas Grain Sorghum, has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up.